So hello everyone. In this session we will discuss about the Nishkam Karma. So this whole session will going to be in two parts. The very first part will tell about the very definition of the Nishkam Karma. What is Nishkam Karma, and what are the effects of performing Nishkam Karma. Okay. So by the very definition, Nishkam Karma simply means that doing an action without having a desire or expecting any fruit out of it. So in order to elaborate this one sentence, it's like being disconnected from the backward linkage of desire, which initiates it, and the forward linkages of expectations of the desired or anticipated fruits toward which it is oriented. Here, one starts doing things or even exists only from his or sheer presence, where the ego presence remains at its lowest possible, that is ego thinning. So the nature that is really performing Nishkam Karma stays more off in the I-ness aspects rather than the why-ness. Why-ness in the sense that the one can able to explain in the language of the desire and the fruit language, right? But whereas the I-ness tells about the very reason behind doing the action is because I am right there, right? I am the one who is doing it, not from some particular desire or I do have any particular expectations of getting a desired result. It's just the very presence, the very aliveness of that native is leading to the action. So the next one of the next question that comes, and we will try to cover this question to uh, give it staying keeping it short and keeping it precise, so that how one can able to examine whether one is or acts out of ego. In other words, whether he is in this connection of to and fro perpetually. See, till the time this body exists, the ego to an extent will going to exist, but one in order to remain free should constantly have this I, seeing with an intent of dissolving the very ego. And mind you, this practice one should obey constantly every day till this body going to exist. By default state of ego, if left alone, is to become gets very more heavy and more full of its own beliefs and thoughts and its constant usage of mind to fulfill more desires. Okay, so this is the way through which one can able to tell about whether one acts out of ego and how can one remain out of its say clutches, or keeping an eye, or the very eye giving the understanding that how the act is happening or operating. So on the screen we can see what is written in the pointers is the very effects of performing the Nishkam Karma. So that is all the qualities as well of the Nishkam Karma. The very first point is a freeze one from the bondages of karma. Secondly, that is no effort of Nishkam Karma is wasted. Thirdly, that is there are no obstacles in the path of Nishkam Karma. Okay, the very obstacles that are created because of the ego approach only, right? The ego somewhere defines the whether what is an obstacle for the native and what's not, right? So being in Nishkam Karma, the one remains out of this whole linkage of backward and forward. Thus, one do have very minimal or no sense of obstacles in performing the karma. Fourth point is Nishkam Karma protects one from the greatest fears. Right, since there is no expectations as such heavy expectations of getting the desired fruit. So clearly this anticipation, the lack of anticipation makes one free from the fears. Another point that is Nishkam comes do leads to ek buddhi, that is clarity. This non-dualistic approach is what Nishkam comes effects are. So that's it for now. Thank you very much.